On this week's album review, we feature What's the Story, Morning Glory by Manchester's finest, Oasis.
Yes, another well-known album.
A very, very well-known album.
And a very topical band at the minute, who have obviously announced the reunion. I'm sure everyone's heard it and their sister. Will they
make it to the reunion? Will they get through the rehearsals?
They will, surely.
For that money they will.
For that moolah. So, What's the Story, Morning Glory is the second studio album by the English rock band Oasis, released on 2nd of October 1995 by Creation Records. It was produced by Owen Morris and the group's lead guitarist and chief songwriter Noel Gallagher.
Kids.
The structure and arrangement style of the album was a significant departure from the previous album, definitely maybe in '94. Morning Glory was the group's first album with drummer Alan White, who replaced Tony McCarroll. Though McCarroll still appeared on the album, drumming on the tracks, some might say.
Yeah.
So it was recorded in Rockfield Studios in Wales. I think that is the studios where Queen recorded Bohemian Rhapsody.
No way.
Yes. And
that's a fun fact.
Where Irish band Curb Dog recorded. I'm nearly sure.
No way.
Yeah, and Sepultura, Chaos. Yeah.
Sepultura recorded in Wales.
In Wales. Yes. Yeah. Well, I know for a fact Curb Dog recorded the same time as Sepultura in the studio.
And I wonder, was that to do with Owen Morris? Was that his studio?
I'm not 100% sure.
I wonder.
But it's an iconic one.
I'd like to find that out.
So it is 50 minutes and 6 seconds long. The label is Creation producer Owen Morris. Owen Morris, born in Wales and had worked with bands including Ash, The Verve and the Fratellis all around that time. According to Rolling Stone, Owen has retired and resides in Costa Rica now. There you go.
No
That's
way.
his money made.
Yeah, he's away off.
So
Chilling out.
The singles, some might say, first single, 24th of April in 95.
And then you had Rock and Roll.
Roll With It, 14th of August. Morning Glory, 18th of September. Wonderwall, 30th of October. Don't Look Back in Anger, the 19th of February in 96. Champagne Supernova, 13th of May 96. And it was 10 weeks at number 1 in the UK album charts. Sales of 6 million in Europe, 5.1 of them in the UK, 4 million in the US, and it reached number 4 in the Billboard 200. I didn't realise it done that well in the US.
Yeah, either did I.
Yeah. What's the Story, Morning Glory was released to lukewarm reviews from the mainstream music press. David Kavanagh of Q magazine said of the lyrics, "They scan, they fill a hole, end of story."
That was it.
They say nothing much about anything. Andy Gill of The Independent commented that She's Electric is laddism of a tirelessly generic kind, while Roll With It is drab and chummy.
Oh.
Now,
that was quite a mouthful, wasn't it?
It was, I could barely read it. NME, though, was more enthusiastic, with John Robinson writing that the album shows Oasis pursuing an altogether different direction, away from the conscious, free, overloaded laddism towards an understanding of its consequences. Doesn't really make any sense, that statement, but that's what was quoted. What else do I have on that then? The Battle of Britpop.
Yes. So this is something I found very interesting.
I remember this crack.
I wasn't even born. I was still at the war, and both my parents were in the States at the time, so I'm sure they wouldn't have remembered much of it either. But what I find is very funny, am I right in saying that Roll With It is the single in question for the battle, Roll With It was the one that was released closer to the release of the album. 4 weeks before the album, or
could
6
have been,
weeks before the album.
Yeah.
And that was also widely criticised as the single that preceded the release was normally released 3 weeks before the date the album was to drop. Yet they released it, I think, either 4 or 6 weeks before it, and NME pushed Blur's Country House back by 2 weeks,
something like
thinking that it wouldn't do well a week after Oasis's track, so they pushed it out another week.
Yeah.
And what the surprising fact was that Country House went on to sell more single copies
and reach number 1 as well.
And reach number 1 ahead of Roll With It.
Yeah.
Although Oasis, let me say, Blur might have won the battle when it came to singles, but I think in regards to the albums, Oasis definitely won the war when it came to What's the Story.
100%. I'm probably going to repeat something what you said here, but the album's release alongside Blur's Great Escape came at the height of the so-called Battle of Britpop. Despite some genuine I can't say that word. What's that word? I can never pronounce that word. Oh my god, I'm just gonna skip over that. Between oh my god, people are fighting, and ENMITY. Why can I not say that word? Can you say it for like two fucking kids here? But anyway, I can say it at the top of my tongue, but I just can't pronounce it now because I'm panicking.
You're trying to say anonymity.
No, it's not that one.
Anonymity.
Yeah, is that a word? I don't know. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the two bands didn't like each other. That's what I should have wrote.
They weren't fond of each other, and they weren't drinking tea with each other. So much so. But the media was primarily constructed pitting the two bands against each other just to sell records, basically. So much so that Noel Gallagher was quoted in saying that he wished that him and Alburn and one of the other lads out of Blur would go catch a serious STD and die.
Oh.
And then he had to rescind his comments to say that AIDS was no laughing matter.
Oh, bold boy.
He did say that brought a lot of heat on him at the time. But the guitarist out of Blur had said that he didn't take it that bad, as he was happy to know that Oasis didn't like them, as they were used to a lot of people in the industry pretending that they did like them, giving them the pat on the back and then slagging them and talking shit about them behind their back.
Like the whole thing was like, oh, who are you with? Blur Oasis, like an Oasis with a working class boys from the north, and Blur with a southern boys in London, the middle class, uppity boys. The album cover is a picture of two men passing each other on Berwick Street in London.
In Soho.
The two men are Jesus Christ, my writing. DJ Sean Rowley and album sleeve designer Brian Cannon. The album's producer Owen Morris can be seen in the background on the left, holding the album's master tape in front of his face.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's well known.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
The track listing: Hello, Roll With It, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Hey Now. The untitled song known as Swamp Song. Yeah. Do you know Paul Weller played on that?
I did, yeah.
Some might say Cast No Shadow, She's Electric, Morning Glory.
Cast No Shadow was wrote on the train by Noel Gallagher.
Yeah, it's a great song.
On the way to the studio.
Swamp Song number 2 and then Champagne Supernova.
And he wrote it for someone off the back of his band separating. But it escapes me exactly who it was, so I'm not going to misquote it.
I don't know if I have it. I have a few notes on some songs. Do you want to talk about the album first before we get into it?
You could talk about the notes first, and then we can talk about our opinions afterwards.
So, Hello. This song is about a girl that as time passes, the singer doesn't really care about anymore. Noel was quoted saying it was written just towards the end of Definitely Maybe sessions. He added, if Definitely Maybe was about dreaming about being in a band, this one is actually about being in the band.
Being in the band, yeah. About being a pop star, being a rock star in a band.
Yeah. Decent song. Roll with it. The song preaches the importance of being yourself, to shut up moaning about obstacles in our lives and just to get on with it. Roll with It was released the same week as Blur's Country House, with Blur coming out on top, reaching the number 1 spot, as you said, Luke. Wonderwall is about it's about, a lot of these songs are like, the boys were quoted saying like they're about really nothing, but something I read online is about an imaginary friend who's going to come and save you from yourself.
Oh, okay.
I think Noel was said that. And then there was the whole thing about Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. The two boys had a row who was singing which songs.
Okay.
So Noel wanted to sing Wonderwall.
Yes.
And Liam was like, no, that's my baby. And he's like, well, if you're singing that, I'm singing Don't Look Back in Anger. And to be honest, in my opinion, I think it worked out for the best. I think the two songs suit each other, the boys that sang them.
Yeah, for sure. I think Don't Look Back definitely suits Noel.
Definitely.
Look, Wonderwall suits Liam, but maybe that's because that's what we're accustomed to. All I know is there's a class version of Noel singing Don't Look Back in Anger on the Late Late Show in 95, I believe, on his own for some reason. And in the pre-chorus, and said, you know, there are many things that I would like to say to you. In the second one, he says, there are many songs that I would like to sing to you.
Yeah.
Which would lead us to believe that it's not about an imaginary friend.
Yeah, well, it's like today was going to be the day, and then it is going to be the day.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of fucking weird shit in it. But
Do you know that it would be about a significant other or a friend?
Yeah, 100%.
Or a family member or something. Or
yeah. Don't Look Back in Anger, Noel sings. Liam chose Wonderwall, as I just said. Wrote in a dressing room in Paris by Noel.
Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah. It all happened very fast. They actually played it the night that they wrote it to 18,000 people in Paris.
That's such an Oasis thing to do, isn't it?
Bits of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And the piano was taken from John Lennon's Imagine. Huge influence on the band. I don't know if that's
I remember people complaining about that they'd said, oh, it's just a rip-off.
I can get
of
into
Imagine, you know what I mean? There was a lot of controversy surrounding songs on this album. So much so, yet for a... Oh,
it's identical.
Which tune again?
It's
Sorry, this goes out to the one I love.
But, Jesus Christ! Sure, you had to pay him off.
Really?
Yeah.
And then there was a song left out
because there was copyright.
Because it was so close to one of Stevie Wonder's songs, they were afraid of legal issues.
But no, 100% they had to pay REM off.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the famous night in Paris that they had the row and broke up.
No, that wouldn't have been.
No, sure, it's only the
2000s.
But yeah, Noel's. I watched the YouTube. Was doing a bit of research and I came across the interview and Noel spoke about it and said, yeah, it just started to come to me and Sally came away, all this crack, and he's like, who's Sally? Liam says, I don't know, just let me go, and he just kept going and kept going, and they did a version of it in Paris that night. Now it was only a couple of lines or something, but I think is what I remember him saying is that he sat on a chair with an acoustic guitar and just did a small melody of it and sang a couple of verses.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was the beginning of it on its life. Cast No Shadow was wrote about the Veil lead singer Richard Ashcroft.
Yes.
He always seemed to me to not be very happy about what was going on around him, almost trying too hard. I think Noel was quoted saying, I played him the song and he nearly started crying. Ashcroft is quoted saying, it's a great honour to be part of the album. Then when it exploded like that, it's great. And Noel and Richard actually ended up having a big row. in 2018 about songwriting, about Noel was slagging him that he used to have writers and like they ended up having a proper row. Yeah, and then Richard Ashcroft and Liam were buddies and they kind of cast Noel out
aside and
look, it could be more horse shit,
instigated drama
just to sell records, but I really like that song. I really do like that song. She's Electric is a fiction story about relationships, a bit about a young lad with a bit of want in him.
Yes.
And trying to impress a family and with his new girlfriend, and a bit of humour in it too. What's the story? Morning Glory. There's lots of different theories about what this song is about, but one that I read was it is about someone who is addicted to cocaine.
Oh, okay.
And the basic point of the song is that the users need to wake up,
little time to wake up,
and realise that they're ruining their lives. And if you actually read the lyrics of the song, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Kind of being in the depths of a party or something. The boys did that. They talked, like a mirror on a razor blade, it's all about drugs, like. So, Champagne Supernova, as we said, Paul Weller played guitar on that one as well.
Yes.
Some say it's about the lad's dad, Thomas.
Champagne Supernova.
Let me just get the lyric for a second. Feel free to chat there, Luke.
That's very good that you said that about What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Did you never cop that?
No, supposedly the title of the song came from a friend of the band's who would say, "What's the story, Morning Glory," when she would answer the phone, which was taken from a song that was featured in the film Bye Bye Birdie.
So Champagne Supernova, the boys were asked before in an interview, where did the lyric come from? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball.
Yes.
Where were you when we were getting high? And it seemed like they touched the nail when they asked. I think it was Noel. So like he was like, "Was that your dad when he was drunk coming down the hall like a cannonball? And were you blaming him for not being there when you were getting fucked up?"
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, it was almost like, you fucking got me, you bastard.
Yeah, you figured it out.
Yeah, and he was like, no, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it's just
but
a story.
Like very,
yeah,
and very protective of it, dismissive. And
it's someday you'll find me accompanied the landslide and the Champagne Supernova. It could be shit. But Champagne Supernova has been described as a drink. Champagne in a martini glass with cocaine lined on the rim of the glass instead of salt. And I'd well believe it was done.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, would you?
Oh, them boys love their drugs. They talk openly.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
So much so that when they thought they got cocaine in the States, they only realised when they couldn't sleep for 3 days that it was meth.
Really?
Yeah, if you watch Supersonic, they went out to score coke when they done their first big tour of the States, and then they figured out there was something wrong.
Meth.
Couldn't sleep after 2 or 3 days. They were like, "This ain't stuff we're used to."
Heisenberg got them.
Figured out it was meth. Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad 20 years previous.
What did you think of the album?
Look, it's an album I really like. I really like Definitely Maybe as well. It is different. There's more ballads in it. It's more ballady. I think maybe it's more radio friendly instead of it, say, being more raw. I really like the album myself.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the comments there about it being overrated. It's still touted these days that it's highly overrated.
Oh, there's definitely some fucking crackers in it. Like Wonderwall is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like no matter,
I wouldn't be gone on it.
But like it's.
Some might say is one of my favourite
What's the story, Morning Glory? Like I think they hit a time when there was a change in music. 95, 96, kind of was coming to the end of grunge and all that crack. I know grunge never really hit England as much as America, but they just hit a right time where people were looking for something different.
And they delivered.
Noel is a fantastic songwriter.
An amazing songwriter.
He is. He can sing, like we chatted about on other albums, like there's a catch, there's a hook. Like there is, it's not the most technical stuff, like we said on other albums as well, but it works.
I would prefer Noel as a singer.
I can't stand Liam Gallagher.
As a person or as a singer?
I don't know him, but as a what he perceives himself in the media, I know a lot of it is about selling records, and I get that. I think he's a dick. Personally, I just don't like all that northern shit that he portrays, and I'm sure he's nothing like that deep down.
Oh,
I think
that's hard to know.
I think
that's hard to know. I wouldn't have been gone on Oasis. I remember saying this to you before, until I watched Supersonic, and I thought they were posers. That was my early perception. I couldn't understand everybody's fascination with Oasis, but they weren't.
They were.
If you watch Supersonic,
they knew how to play the media.
I think they did after a while, but where the music originated from,
it came from them, the Manchester scene.
Genuinely was not having a whole pile.
Oh yeah, and that's where the best of stuff comes from. But you have to remember,
just chilling
the Stone
out,
Roses,
being very laid back.
The Stone Roses was there before them, and
you've enlightened me on that fact,
I don't know enough.
I haven't listened to enough of the Stone Roses to argue.
Like anyone will back me up here. Like a lot of people say it, it's just robbed Stone Roses.
They just stole it.
They robbed R.E.M.
Robbed John Lennon.
Like,
Rob Stevie Wonder.
And one thing,
Rob Stevie Blind.
Poor Stevie. But look at most musicians, you know, they pick little samples from here and there. I can't knock the album. The album is very good. I just can't take the lads. And I was going to say something else there. Yeah, these first two albums were very, very good. Then they went to shite.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of anything released after that.
So that kind of tells me their natural ability to keep a thing going. When they had a thing going, everyone has a dud album, but they had about 4 of them.
It's hard to know.
Obviously, there was drama in the camp too.
Yeah, what direction they went in. That I feel some bands get caught in this weird lock or space. You don't really care what anybody thinks because you're making the music you want to make. First album, second album, they went a wee bit more polished, and then they might have thought this is what we need to do, or this is what we need to do, or this is what we need to do for 3, 4, 5. Off the back of definitely maybe in Morning Glory, you're sort of setting yourself up for failure. If you can't replicate the same thing,
well, that's why.
If the sound is very similar, could they have put out another album without people jumping on their back, Gavin, and saying, that's just the same as the other two?
Yeah, but change it up and be good. Like other bands have done.
Yeah, no, for sure. Point taken.
You know, people have changed. Like
Chris Cornell, as we've talked about before, had so many different fields.
I wouldn't even say Chris Cornell, but like the Beatles and stuff like that, and Queen and bands, our bands that we like have changed their style. Iron Maiden, I know it's a different genre. I'm just thinking of bands. Yes. You have to alter it. They altered it and went shite. Yeah. Where other bands that we like have altered it and stayed.
Went well.
You know. Look, I don't want to shit on it too much because you cannot knock the album. It is a brilliant album. But I do remember when it came out, and I have a memory, funny enough, of my cousin Paddy Sheridan, and he had the album. I remember being in his house, and it was back in the day when you took the album apart and you looked at the lyrics.
The notes
and I was only 9 or 10, but like our 9 and 10 was not like today's 9 and 10. We were clued in, like, you know. But I remember going, this is alright. I don't get the whole
It's
hype.
not great.
I don't get it. You know, and the lads, did you get the new Oasis album? Yeah, it's alright. Personally, me.
That's your.
Good enough songs, like pub band kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
nothing out of reach.
I can't believe that they are selling out stadiums like they are next year. Blows my fucking mind, to be honest.
Yeah, can't get over it.
I think people are playing into their hands. They just created this feud and waited for the right time, and they probably pushed it as far as they can go, and they go, right, let's go.
Pull the trigger, let's get back. And
let's get this money
Let's
back.
get back on the wagon.
You know, Noel got clean there for a couple of million.
26 million or something, I think he used to pay his ex.
He says, Liam, it's time to get the band back together. But look, at any man that paid 400 quid to go and watch them in Croke Park, in my eyes, need your fucking head checked. But that's my opinion. I think it's insane.
What really grinds your gears, Gavin?
No, any band were charging that money for a gig.
Yeah.
You know, I understand they're not getting the money that they did years ago from album sales because of Spotify and all that.
But what was the story with that? Were they actually charging that, or was that Ticketmaster's price?
Oh, they have control.
Right.
Because Taylor Swift refused it.
Okay.
Iron Maiden refused it.
Okay.
Justin Timberlake, my missus, was looking for tickets.
When's he coming?
He's 2 days after Maiden next year. And
they refused the high ticket.
Oasis didn't refuse it,
of course.
So good luck to you, enjoy it.
So the in-demand tickets then.
Yeah, you can either have the what's the word that like it's like an algorithm also, like the not an algorithm but like the price
demand it fluctuates based on the demand.
And then I still don't understand how Ticketmaster it's to stop touting. They are touting.
You are now the tout.
Yeah, you're the tout.
And we can't take you on.
No, it's not fair. Like, we all love our music, but Jesus Christ, man, I'm sure there's people that love Oasis and have no problem paying that money and having a bit of humour, like, you know, our money. Don't take that to the grave. But anyone that loves a band that has to spend 400 quid to go to a gig for a band that they love
and will not have it. There will be people there that deserve to be at that gig that will not have.
But supposedly that this crack on this is in America the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So
because I couldn't understand that when it came to the Taylor Swift debate, that it was cheaper for a lot of people to fly from the States to Europe or the UK, purchase their flights, their ticket and their accommodation, feed themselves and get home cheaper. Yeah.
But should we seen tickets for Metallica too, Luke, in America? And we chatted to people who paid $300-400 and they were like middle tier, and we're like, what the
I heard there was a big discussion about that for the
Mexico
and the North American dates.
Toronto
that just released.
that
went on sale last week. Some people said they got absolutely fleeced.
It's not right. You know, isn't 100 or 150 enough? Jesus Christ, you know.
Well, clearly, look, Metallica must have declined the option in Europe.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
They have their set prices for their Snake Pit or their enhanced experiences, and that's it.
It was different in America.
Yeah. But that must be Ticketmaster America.
Well, it's obviously a contract or something that they've signed.
It must be something to do with if you're going to use Ticketmaster, this is the deal.
And look, no matter who, I'm sure there's plenty of other people chatting about this. People still gonna buy them, so like, you know, there's that's it, we'll all not go to the concert. It's not gonna work.
People go.
It's not gonna work. So we're just gonna have to go with it.
We'll have to roll with it.
We'll have to roll. No, I think it is a very, very good album. I think it is still well known. Some of the tracks in that are timeless, like Champagne Supernova. Everyone knows it. Wonderwall, Hello, Roll With It, Cast No Shadow. I really like the delivery on that. I love Noel's voice on that. It's fucking, and Liam, the two of them. The harmonies, a lot of the harmonies in it are very good. The two boys' voices are so different, but at times they work together.
Yes. Yeah, I'd agree.
So mightn't be the biggest fans of what I see them in the media, but I can't knock the talent and the music. So it is a very good album. So I think that's a review.
That is our review.
So we also have a Patreon if you are interested in supporting the podcast. If you go to our bio in our Instagram page, or if you look up www.patreon.com/thatsoundpodcast, we have 3 options to support the podcast. You can support by €2 a month, €5 a month, or €10 a month. We have giveaways and early episodes. It's all in the description in Patreon. We'd really appreciate it if you could help out. And thanks again to all our new sign-ups on Patreon this week. We really appreciate you.
We also have a competition going.
We do. For every sign-up this week is the last week. We have, even for the €2 and the €5, we have a limited edition Luke Priest Metallica Atlas Rise poster, limited to I think 800 in the world. It's a lovely, lovely poster. It would look deadly beside your CD collection or your vinyl records or your little man cave or studio or whatever
just
you have.
Just a piece of art.
It is a piece of art. Luke Priest is a very, very, very talented illustrator. He's top class. We had him on as a guest. He's based over in England. But so if anyone signs up even for the €2 for this month, you're in for the draw. And if you go for the €10, you're in for double bubble. And we have to give a shout out to our new helping hands on the way. Universal Books up in Letterkenny, an absolutely gem of a shop. They have a wide range of vinyls from every genre you can name, and they have kindly donated a Grateful Dead vinyl to give away, and we will be giving that away in the next month of giveaways. It's a live recording from New Jersey in 1987. Absolutely class, and real thanks to the boys. If you want to check out their Facebook page, they have Universal Books Letterkenny. They do shipping, and they're really sound guys, and we want to really give them a big shout out. And if you happen to buy some stuff, please mention the podcast. It will help along the way.
Check out all their stuff on Facebook and Instagram. They offer postage, so you can check in on the daily updates, multiple daily
mostly
updates
Facebook
of really cool albums and pieces that they will have,
and they go
sale.
quick.
And they have miniature guitars as well, so be sure to keep an eye out and move quick if it's something you like.
Yeah, thanks to the boys for helping out and supporting the podcast. We really appreciate you. So until next week,
we'll chat to you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.